Greetings, and salutations to all my brothers and sisters out there. I hope you're having a wonderful day and I hope you are doing well in your pursuit of retiring early. We got a good one today. It's a good one for the basics. Hey, what is a stock? All our new traders and all those people out there may be in the stock market, but they may not actually know what a stock is. So let's cover some basic ground here with what is a stock, and let's tell you a story about how the stock market got started. I think you're going to like it. Let's check it out. So, what is a stock? Well, in its basic terms, a stock is just a little piece of a company. You buy one share of stock or even a fractional share of stock, you become part owner in that company. And the reason a company issues stock is so they don't have to take on debt. They don't have to go out and get loans and do all this with interest. They issue stock and they issue it out at a kind of an arbitrary number. There's no real exact number to how many shares they will issue out, but it's basically the companies get together, the bank, and everybody's around and they figure out the value of the company. They divide it by the number of stocks, and that's how many. That's how much it's going to cost. So it doesn't really matter exactly if you find a lower price stock or a higher price stock. It doesn't necessarily equate to value of the company. So you could have 100 million shares, or you could have 1 billion shares, just whatever you wanted. But you buy into that company one sliver at a time. And the cool thing is, if you buy one share, you get a vote in the company, just the same as a person who has 1 million shares. Except they have 1 million votes. But it's the same. There's no different stock. There's no different this. There's no different that. You're on equal footing and the same as all the big dogs out in the world, and you become a shareholder of the company. And how many shares of that company, how much of that company you want to own is completely up to you. And the more shares you buy, the more you own of the company. And that's why you hear people, they own the majority shares, so they have control of the company. Very easy, very simple. And as I say, you control that. You want to be into a bunch of companies. You want to be in this. You could have a little slice of this, a little slice of that. You could dabble over here, dabble in that. And it's kind of cool whenever you go out and people are talking about, hey, I saw the new iPhone come out, or I got a new MacBook or something. And you can sit there and think, hey, it's pretty cool. I actually own that, and I appreciate you helping the stock price go up. You don't want to say it all the time because it can be a little annoying for the people that don't trade. But very simple. A stock is just you getting into ownership of a company. Now, where did it all begin, though? Where did the stock begin? Where did the stock market start? Now, that's a really cool story, and it happened a few hundred years ago. So journey with me, if you will, back to 1602, and all the Dutch merchants are the ones that fund all of the trade routes, all of the ships that are launched, for whatever the case, to bring back whatever. These Dutch merchants are the ones that paid for it. Now, hey, it's kind of a zero DTE thing, because you fund it, it could come back and boom, you're getting paid. It's a great payout. Or you could fund it and you never see them again, and the ship is lost at sea and you lose everything. So it's all or nothing. It's a zero DTE gamble. There's no closing out the trade. But that's what they would do. Dutch merchants, would fund all these ships. But in that same year, 1602, became a VOC charter. And this VOC charter said that the Dutch East India Company was allowed to have an exclusive monopoly on all trade east of the Cape of Good Hope. So that's huge. Just take my word for it. It's huge. So now we have all these merchants funding them, but in that charter it says all residents located in these lands east of, in the Cape of Good Hope area and all that they're trading, all residents could get in on it. What a fantastic thing. So now we have, boom, the gate is open for the retail trader, just like you and I back in 1602. Here's these people. And the retail trader was a little bit lower back then because wages were terrible, and wages were so low on some people, they had no chance to get in. It's kind of like a lot of people think nowadays. But let me tell you the story of the first retail trader. The first retail trader, and good Lord, I hope I don't butcher her name, but it's Neil DeGen, and it is Cornelius. So maid Cornelius was a maid to one of these high rollers, one of these Dutch merchants, and she saw the value in this, and she made 50 cents a day. And she then began to save and saved and saved and saved and was able to put in the equivalent of $6,000 on one of these, the first excursions. So really, this maid who put in $6,000, which is a huge sum of savings for her, on this initial excursion, on this initial IPO, which ran for like over 5 months, they say. There's no exact time, but for over 5 months, this maid saved. And whenever the IPO hit, boom, she got into it. The ship launched, the ship come back, and she just kept rolling it. And she became really one of the founders of the whole charter and the new company that existed. And she's just like you and I. She's just like us. Hey, I only make X amount of dollars, but I'm going to chisel away at it. I'm going to chip away at this number. I'm going to get me a little bit. I'm going to get me a little bit. And over the course of months, just like her, you get an incredible, incredible opportunity. Now, back then, it was very rare probably for a maid to do such a thing, but who cares? Somebody's got to do it. And if she can do it, others started doing it. And before you know it, the public trade was alive and well. And we can say that we've seen all of these things happen. We've seen the first IPO. We've seen the first stock sell. We see how it opened up to retail. And we can even say the Dutch, that company was humongous. Some people put that value of that company after all of this into the trillions of dollars by today's standards. And that's a high estimate, but even conservative estimates will put it as big as an Apple or a Microsoft or any of those family that operate today. So cool little story of how it all started. But let's see what happened along the way. So you want to know what happened since 1602? The trade never stopped. The stocks never stopped. But greed got involved. All of a sudden, people got in there. And if we look at like right before it started to change, like pre-1975, there was fixed commissions. There was, fees and brokers and middlemen. And it just became, there were no fractional shares. And it became impossible for the layman to get in. And that's why we had all these rumors and things. Maybe you and I growing up, or even now, you hear the Wall Street's for the suits, it's for the rich, it's yada, yada, yada. And it couldn't be any, yeah, that's where they do play, but that doesn't mean it's the walls are closed for us. There's not a fortress around this thing. We can get in it too, just the same way as Maid Cornelius did back then. But see, they had all these fees and everything, and they tried to make it so hard for you to get in. You had to contact a broker, and you had to sign up, and you had to get an account there, and it cost you this, and that guy cost you money. And getting the shares cost you money, and it just beat you up, and you would have to send away for them, and you would actually get paper shares in your hand that you would put in, your safety deposit box or whatever. And it became this, this process that was just that, a huge process. But all of a sudden, fixed commission fees started dropping off in the 70s whenever, retail just kept eating away, kept banging at the door, man. And they dropped these fixed commission fees, and all these things just started tailing off until you come to about 2010 when just the floodgates opened. And that's when you started seeing Robin Hood bust through the doors, your Weebles come through the doors, and all of these. And all of a sudden, you didn't need a broker. You can kiss the brokers goodbye. We didn't need people standing on the floor trading with pieces of paper, shaking it, saying buy, sell, buy, sell. Forget it. It's all done. Now we've got Robin Hood. Now you've got things like that. Now you've got a fortune. Like I'm a Tasty Trade. I have traded in Robin Hood. All of it. It is wide open. You lose all those crazy fees they had. You lose all this crazy commission costs. You at your fingertips to this day and age have the ability that nobody's ever had before in history. It is the craziest thing if you really think about it. Maid Cornelius would have loved to have this option. You can get on there and buy and sell, boom, 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 just like that. You don't have to wait for a share to come in the mail or for them to call somebody and hope it goes. The share price trades, all these things happen in an instant for us nowadays because we have them at our fingertips. In the little computer we carry around in our hand called our phone. I never actually use it as a phone. I wouldn't even care if it worked as a phone. These are fantastic times we live in to be a stock trader. And all of a sudden, retail is now, commanding huge respect. All of a sudden, retail money isn't stupid money anymore. All of a sudden, retail money is a huge number. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not messing with BlackRock or anybody like that. But all of a sudden, we have a voice that is heard on Wall Street. And we can get in it. We can take that same sliver and buy us a little bit of company. Our voice can be heard at the voting sessions. And it is a great time, and I love trading. I absolutely love trading. I maybe ate up with it, but it's all right because you know what? What better way to do it? A little something that makes you money. So by all means, I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you got something out of it. And now that I told you what a stock was, I'm going to hook what an ETF is video at the end of this one so that you can kind of maybe progress your knowledge. But either way, I hope you like and subscribe, but more so, I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope your trading goes well, and we'll see you next time on Trading in Your Future.